Hi, welcome back and congratulations on completing the 5th weekly duckling seed. Sorry that I missed last week. Real life has been kind of busy lately. If anybody wants me to go back and play through that seed and record it, let me know. Elsewise, I think I'm just gonna go about having skipped it, especially since I got some spoilers. Just in administrating and stuff. But if somebody wants to see that, let me know. Also, if you're enjoying this series at all, let me know. Yeah. So let's jump into this one. As always, if you haven't played it yet, go play it, then come back and watch this. And also, as always, come say hi. We have a new Discord. It's fun and shiny, and if you need an invite to it, I should have it in a link down here, but if not, ask me or whoever, or join the old Discord. It's got good people there, too. Alright, let's look at these flags, and then let's get to running. First page. Shops, magic levels, item magic. Oh, item magic. Interesting. So we're going to have fancy stuff like nuke staves or, lit hammers. That'll be fun. We've got unsafe pirates, so that's something that we need to watch out for. And we've got vanilla trap tiles, so that's also something we need to watch out for. I will probably forget about vanilla trap tiles. Oh, that reminds me. The league ends here in a couple days. So I believe that puts us on schedule for starting up new duckling races, new live duckling races. If that is something that interests you, let me and or Mo know. We're trying to figure out a schedule on that because we're going into Thanksgiving and then Christmas, and so that's all complicated. But yeah, let us know what days work for you, what days are good for you, if you'd be interested in that. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, A-side encounters but unsafe pirates. On the treasures map, we've got... I counted this up earlier, and it looked like it was -3, so 3 loose items. Fetch quest rewards shuffled. Ribbon, White Shirt, Power Bunk, and Thor all in incentive. So there's kind of a gamble here. We've got 3 loose, but there's also a ton of loose items that are not needed to finish the game. So we're probably not going to end up finding every item in the game. So there's kind of the gamble of, do you just hit the incentive items and not full clear, hoping that nothing important was in an out-of-the-way location, or do you or do you full clear until you're in go mode, and then you get to, just run it home. I tend to err on the side of the latter, but that is clearly not the fastest strategy when it isn't mandatory. So that's interesting. I'm going to start by basically full clearing, and then, well, that's my intention, right? We'll see how it actually ends up playing. And then when we get closer and closer to that go mode, start opening less and less. That said, what are the incentive locations? It's, the normal main ones, and fetch NPCs are shuffled. But then we have ice and ordeals, and obviously waterfall, which all 3 of which make me say, well, if I have warp, those are pretty easy. Earth, the vampire chest, that one is actually kind of trolly, because if you don't have rod, if you have rod, it's on the way, right, for incentive. If you don't have rod, rodless Earth always feels terrible. Volcano, the red D chest, again, it's a little bit out of the way. You have to take 3 trap tiles to get it, and we know that it'll be Agama, red D, Agama, which is actually a pretty decent experience. So that one might be in the cards for relatively early. And then Canary locked and Marsh locked. So Canary locked means that when we find key, we've got a free incentive check. That's nice. Marsh locked means we have to go to the bottom of marsh, which is always fun. Goal, normal. Just everything is, regular end of the game stuff. Map. Here's where it gets a little bit interesting. Yeah, we've got Ordeals Pillar, Titans, Confused Old Men, Open Progression, Patrolling Warmac. Yeah, it's all pretty normal. You know all that. But we have Entrance Shuffle. Not Entrance Floor Town, like I normally play, just Entrance. And I have to say up front, I think I have run one just Entrance Shuffle in my life. So it'll be a bit of a learning experience for us all. So that'll be fun. I have a tracker pulled up. I don't know how much I'll be using it since it's just entrances, and once we know what there is in a place, it's just kind of the trick of remembering that. But some of those things, like if you find Matoya, for instance, that might be harder to remember if you don't write it down. So I have my tracker pulled up just in case. Scale, let's see what we got. First of all, let's look at enemies. Enemies are 140, so basically vanilla, and bosses are 210, so basically league. So we don't need to be stupid high level. Mid-20s should be fine. 32 if we can get there would be nice, but mid-20s should be fine. And with enemy stats, we kind of know what we're getting at 140. Prices is 400. XP is 3.0 plus 100 and 10% per item. So that means we definitely want to take the first imp fight. That should get us to level 2, unless we roll high, in which case it might get us to level 3. But then we're wanting to focus on things that natively give good XP instead of our in large groups. So that means an Agma grind or an I grind. Not that we really need to be doing a grind, because again, mid-20s should be fine, but those single encounters that are worth good XP, we want to make a point to take. Also, at 3.0 plus 100 plus 10% per key, I'm bringing a black belt. And since I'm bringing a black belt, we might be aiming for 32 instead of 30. Or instead of mid-20s. Which means the Topher's not going to be much of a problem, and it also means we need a little less equipment. So, yeah, we might be hitting experimental go mode a moment earlier than we would if we were still clearing looking for better gear. Overall 0.8 dungeon 1, so about normal. Force party members 2. So we'll see what those party members are and you know, have to adjust from there. We've got free bridge, we've got bug fixes. I turned music on for everyone. And I'll turn it up here in a second. I've got my screen set up with what the incentive locations are off to be clearly visible, and we've got the tracker pulled up to be visible. So let's see what this party's going to be. Fighter Red Mage. Alright, so basically we have 0 forced. So let's go ahead and name them. Alright, we were going to be taking a fighter and a red mage, basically, no matter what was happening. As we said before, we want to take a BB. So then the question just becomes, what do we want? I'm tempted for a thief, since it's floor shuffle, and we're going to be hitting things at weird times. We want to, you know, make things in an interesting order. I'm also tempted to take another red mage just for more casting items. We pointed out earlier how important the warp spell seems to be. That would be an argument for black mage to guarantee that you'll get casts of it at a little bit lower level if it's in the first 5 or 6 levels. With those loose items, we might want to skip tail if tail is late. So I'm not sure that I want to go in on thief, because thief that is still a thief at the end of the game isn't great, whereas ninja obviously is amazing. I think we're going for another red mage. So a bit of that decision is just that since I can't decide what I want, a red mage is always good. If I knew that, like, Sarah was giving us the tail, I would probably take a thief there. Looking at this party makeup, it means that we're not going to be able to run early, like, at all. How do we feel about that? I think we feel okay with it. I think we're okay with not running. Once we get up to level 10 or so, we'll be fine. So with that in mind, we need to make a point to get to level 10 or so relatively quickly. Yeah, this seems fine. Alright, so again, we're looking for Ice, Ordeals, Vampire, Red D, Conlocked, and Marsh. None of which do we explicitly know where are. Even Conlocked, because that should be moved. So exciting. Alright. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, start. Nope, didn't mean to go in there. Meant to walk straight up here and find out what we got. We got one of the good dragons with a Pro Cape and a ribbon. It's a great start. Pro Cape and ribbon is always welcome. Gauntlet for our fighter. Ice Shield for our fighter. One of our loose items. And a short sword for our fighter. So Honestly, that set us up really nicely, and we got 600 bucks to buy spells and gear with. We'll just check, make sure there isn't something super cheap. There is not. I mean, sabers are fine, but I'm not gonna buy more. I mean, wood is pretty bad, but ooh, heal 3. Can't learn it, but ooh, heal 3. Fire 3. You could pick up Ice 2 and or Lightning 2. I mean, they're good. There are times where you would want to use them over what we have, but I'm not going to pick them up because they don't matter that much in the long run. And I'd rather just save the time in the menuing. Yeah, we did already equip that. Alright, let's see what's up in Temple of Feet. I mean, let's do what we said we were going to do and take an imp fight. It's a pretty early encounter also. So we might use that for our benefit later in just kind of scumming. Ooh. We're going to keep walking just because we want the data. Okay. Glare Imps is not what we wanted to have no run chance party on. We just want the data of what's in here. That actually probably should have been cast so that if we didn't run. Oh, it's another dragon. How convenient. 500 bucks. 400 bucks and a cabin. I don't know that that is actually worth walking out, but alright, so once we get a free second, we can mark off both of those locations as already cleared. Because they are. We're going to go res people, and then we're going to go hit up Provoca, since we know that it's Provoca, and even though it's unsafe pirates, we'll be able to get a thing out of it. A key item out of it. I know a thing isn't terribly, you know, communicative. How many piers do we have? 2? 2 is not enough. 3's fine, though. We'll buy another 10 once we have actual money. It's a lot of early encounters on the encounter table. We could go up right now and check Matoya's, but since we have 10 per key item, I'm just going to go ahead and start by checking Provoca. Because unless it's Canoe, we're coming back this way anyway. And I use that cabin there just to make sure that I don't have to watch the bridge credits again. Nice long run there after, you know, we got through all that garbage. We are going to save at the end because of unsafe pirates possibly messing up our day. Cure 4 and Fade. We're going to check, and Life, it looks... Oh, wow, Cure 4, Fade, and Life. We're going to check Fast as well. It's interesting. Do we want to play this game without Fast? We don't. We want somebody to have Fast. So Red's going to learn Life. Rojo's going to learn Cure 4. Red's going to learn Cure 4. And Rojo's going to learn Fast. Oh, wow. That was almost not enough gold to do everything. Pirates have de facto 6 hit points, so any AoE is going to kill it, so we didn't need to use Fade there, just because it was longer menu time. And Glare Pirates, that's interesting. Okay, cube, so we do need to walk back. There's the tail. Alright, so the tail is here in Provoca for 8k. And there's our chain armor that we've been wanting. No, it was red that learned life. Yeah. So we bought those in the wrong order, but that's alright. We want our Lifecaster to be in the safest location and have the ribbon on them so that if, no one lives through the fight, they do. And the third slot is the safest location. Technically, the third and fourth are, can be viewed as the same because they're both 1 and 8, but because the way that random numbers aren't exactly random, third is ever so slightly better in a essentially irrelevant way, but and third is also easier to access by menuing, so having your white mage, for instance, there, or the red mage that has, the healing spells there. Oh, Blizzard as well. Wow. Those are some fancy imps. Are you anything? You're Earth. Okay. So Earth might have progression there. Behind Vampire. I don't know that we want to go diving Rodless Earth just yet. Because we don't have Rod yet. Yeah. Then again... Oh, they are not randomized Trap Tiles. So I was going to say we can check Hall of Giants and Earth Trap Tile, but they're going to be Giants and Earth. So I don't know that we want to do that, so I'm going to go check Dwarves, see what they got over at Dwarves. Dwarves is Elfund. And we're going to take a second to make notes. Provoca has tail for 8k. Matoya's was Earth. So, what do we want to do? Oh yes, we don't have extended open on. So our option is Earth. So Earth it is. Earth with low run chance seems unpleasant. But we've got Fade and Life, and some Cure 4 charges. So it won't be the worst. Oh, I needed to turn the sound back up. You guys probably could not have been hearing that this whole time. Sorry about that. $700? What can we get for $700? Probably a lot of heal potions. No softs, which kind of sucks, but... Alright, and let's give this Earth Cave a try. We have no warp or exit, so that kind of blows. We're gonna go ahead and early dive check the top floor. Just see what's up here, see if it's anything important. Then we're gonna get down, find the key item. Well, that's worth walking out. This encounter table is also very, very spiky. Probably shouldn't be taking these Garogers, especially since we don't have houses, so we have to walk all the way back to Canaria to get our spells back. But we also kind of want to get a little bit of levels before getting all the way down to the vampire. So it's kind of a weird trade-off. We might end up having to just walk back to Canaria to get our spells back. And if we find something in one of these chests, we're absolutely going to bail and not get to the vampire. And by something, I guess I mean, what, boat, canoe, something to turn into Elf King, so herb. And that's it. Silver bracelet's alright. It's basically just chain armor with a not as strict evade penalty. So we'll put it on BB until we get to level 15. That was the wrong order. We don't really want to fight the Earth, so we're going to go around. Alright, that's enough money that we can buy some supplies. Ouch. Got a little unlucky there with Fire 3 leaving one alive. But that's why we were throwing out Fades earlier instead of Fire 3s, because we knew that was a possibility. My fingers got ahead of my brain got ahead of my fingers there. Ooh, ouch. Leaving the asp alive was a bit surprising, actually. Actually, that Ogre 2 creep fight might have been worth our time, since we have 2 Fade charges. 2 characters with Fade charges. But we did what we did. Alright, now we can buy a couple of softs. And fill up on heal potions. That was not the button I meant to hit. My fingers are just not cooperating at the moment. Alright, there we are. Alright, now let's go do this. We're actually going to use the cabin just to line up the heal potions better. Alright, we are going to check both of this floor, I think. Both of the rooms on this floor, I think. Just because most... Oh my. We can't run away from you. Most gear is still going to be helpful to us, and the chance of finding an item other than the key one is pretty important. Our intention is to just do a single dive, but at the same time that might not happen, so it might just be decent information. It's a lot of money. Alright, so we have to take this trap tile twice, and it's Earth, if I remember correctly? Yeah. Earth was Scorch. It's a little annoying. Kind of want to test its hit points. But having seen that it has a skill list makes doing that a lot trickier. Well, a lot more dangerous, I guess I should say. Okay. So, 2 rounds currently. Purring. Nope. Ouch. And that's part of why I hate going into dungeons like this without having some softs on hand, because having to do the rest of this without a fighter would be kind of crappy. There's level 10, which is nice. It means that we got more spell charges, but not that we can currently use them. And it means that BB is closer to actually being able to ever do damage. Well, our decisions are kind of biting us in the butt here. Of not bringing a thief. But hopefully it'll pay off in the longer run. And we knew that where that tail was too. So the thief probably would have been a pretty good pick here. Although obviously we're not yet in the air, so who knows, maybe we'll be, you know, level 30 by the time that happens, but at the moment I'm regretting my lack of thief pick. We're not going to check that far right out of the way chest on the way down, but we might check it on the way back up depending on what we find in here. depending on what we find behind the vampire, that is. Nah, it sucks. Having to spend 2 spell charges there is unfortunate. Well, we can buy that tail now whenever we want. With plenty of money. And it'll give, 10% experience. It's not nothing. Stop that, Mr. Earth. That's our last fire 3 on Rojo. So that means getting out of here is going to be a little trickier. Not Rod. Alright, there we go. So if that had been Rod, then we would have to make a difficult and awkward decision. So I'm glad that it wasn't. Whereas with Canoe, now we have a million directions to go open to us. Oh, we struck first. That makes this a lot less of a decision point. Yep, we're gonna go clear this. Good that our black belt is finally able to do any damage. Make some of these fights a lot easier to plan our way through. It was dumb of me to step on that trap tile. Cure 2. So that's defense sword, but it casts Cure 2. I don't hate having found that. I mean, we're gonna have defense sword equipped on someone probably at the end of the game, unless we find just everything. So I throw out the spells here because the chance of this being a 2-round fight just dramatically increases both time and chance that we're gonna die to some skill list or something. And here I'm throwing out spells because it's unrunnable. Seems like our black belt might have rolled decent luck plus agility, which is good. Or I guess just luck since it's run chance. And we're out. So we've got a canoe. We want to get that tail. We're guaranteed to have something at Crescent, so we're walking right instead of walking left here. So much money. Alright, well, since we have all of the money, we're going to restock on these things. We're going to get 20 tents, just so that we do not have to think about whatsoever. And I forget, was there anything in here? Yeah, there was silver armor. Yeah, we can afford it. Silver isn't terribly good armor, but it's not much better than chain, but since we have all of the money in the world, that'll make navigating the rivers just a little bit easier. We did pick up the tail, right? Yeah, there we go. We have all the money in the world, and we know that we don't have to save up for an expensive vendor item, because we already have the vendor item, and it was super cheap. So other than finding our pro rings, finding our gold bracelets, we don't really need the money. Don't yet have warp, so we don't necessarily want to go up and do ice just yet. And Volcano is incentivized, so it's probably our next long-term goal. They got houses and they're cheap, so that's good news. And gold bracelets are also cheap. We're not going to bother buying the gold bracelet for Tap because we're going to replace his weapon very soon anyway, or his armor, once we find almost literally anything. If you did here, that's obviously fine. So we don't need to come back here for, well, anything. So that's good. But like the 18 on the silver versus the 24 on the gold for a few minutes isn't going to matter that much. Crystal, but we have not found Matoya yet. We're going to wheel around to Elfland, although there is an argument for checking what is in Volcano real quick. But I think we're going to wheel around to Elfland first. Strike first chance is a good chance to just see how many hit points the Hydra has. Less than 250. This is what we wanted to see. We'd love to hit a couple more Carib fights before we hit Elfland. It's not worth it. Oh. Pretty sure when we saw those a minute ago, they weren't unrunnable. I mean, I guess the creep was. Maybe we reset out of the one that I'm thinking of instead of running from it. Alright, what we got? Oh, good. We got Canary Castle. So there's one key item for free. We're going to go ahead and note that Elfland Castle is Concast. And I wasn't paying attention. What did we get? We got Adamant. So let's learn some spells. Ice 3 and Temper. Seems good. What else you got for us, Elfland? Nothing? Okay. So now we know that we don't have to come back here with our fighter when he becomes a knight, because all of those spells were garbage. Cure 2 is not awful, but we're also not super hyped for it. Nuke, however, we are. We're not taking Cure 2 across from Nuke, because, well, we're not going to be using Cure 2 instead of Nuke. Pretty much ever. And there's our super cheap purrings. So now we don't even have to check armor stores anymore. We're pretty set up at the moment, to be honest. Alright, you were Canary Castle. Let's check Marsh while we're here. Oh, Marsh and Northwest while we're here. And actually, we haven't checked Dwarf either. Oh, we did. It was the Elf King. And this is why we take notes, I guess. We didn't buy those houses while we had the chance. We should have. That was a mistake. I think I stepped one step too far. Yeah, 2 steps too far. Oh well, that's alright. You know, what I'm referring to is so that you can take the route across the rivers that saves 2 steps. I walked too far to be able to do that. Which isn't a terribly big deal, but... Oh, it's Matoya, and we have a thing for Matoya. And it is a slab. Well, it's 10% XP. And a house. And a shield. And a mute. It's better than the silver axe. And that silver shield is worthless to us. And now we can just mark Northwest Castle as done. We don't need to mark it as Matoya because, well, we don't need to know where Matoya was. We have everything from there. And we don't need to go back because we already turned in the crystal. And you are Titan. I'm sorry for being slow. I'm using a different tracker than the one I normally use, and so things are in a very different order than what I'm used to. So we're still looking for something that lets us get going, and it looks like ice and earth are our remaining options. I mean, ice and volcano are our remaining options. we're looking for a boat plus a canal, or just airship. Or technically, I guess rod. Rod would let us clear Earth. Which, then something could be in the bottom of Earth. Well, I do kind of want that XP. I don't want to use the only house I have. So I want to keep my full spell charges in case this is a long dungeon. And that is a long dungeon. Alright, let's look over here. Was C incentivized? It was not. But we could probably dive mermaid. I don't know that we can live long enough to get out of a dive to mermaids. But maybe. The greed is real. If we had a decent sword, that would probably change, in my opinion. I guess we have that light axe. That's not nothing. We've got better armor than I was giving us credit for, with the gold bracelets and pro rings on everyone. It's the lack of warp and exit charges that makes me a little bit nervous. We're not checking TFC or TFC North because I never check them unless I absolutely mandatorily have to. They're just really far out of the way, and well, we don't have the key for the one. Oh, we had a first strike, didn't we? We're still gonna drop the fades. Huh. Okay. So we're checking mermaids just because it's a crap ton of chests that we can get. Oh my. Well, that changes. I am very glad that we dove mermaids. If that's heal staff, we might even have another one of those out there if it's one of the other staffs. Obviously it's the only one, but man, adding a fade staff to the mix. Definitely increases our clear potential and what fights we can feel very comfortable with taking. And it lets us do things like run, fade stick. And silver hat. Silver hat's a nice hat. Ice sword is a great pickup. There's an argument for giving it to a red mage, since it would be a bigger upgrade for the red mage than changing the light axe into an ice sword, but we've got enough spells that we're at the point that we're going to be casting spells or running with our red mages basically always. And so the fighter fighting is just going to be better. I'm going to be super greedy and take this chest on the way out. Actually, we have a fade stick. Nice. That was serendipitous. So this dive ended up paying off with a nice sword, a fade stick, and some decent levels. And a silver hat, which isn't nothing. But we're going to go check Ice Cave now. We probably could full dive here, you know, step outside, use a house, full dive here, clear Kraken. That might be a more time conservative way than what we're doing. There's definitely an argument for doing that, especially since if Ice Cave just has floater in it, we're probably coming immediately back here. Bane. That's no good. Like, we wouldn't hate getting the XP from that, from those creeps, but we're past the level where it's a super big concern. We need to add to the tracker at one of these points that we already got through Ice Cave, or through Volcano, or that Volcano. There we go, brain. That Volcano is where Kraken is. Oh, good. So this lets us go back to Elfland Castle and get Sarah's item. Oh, a sleep stick. Alright, so we are in Ice Cave. Ice Cave is Temple of Fiends. And the Volcano was Kraken. So unless progression is buried in C, Sarah should be giving us either key or floater. I suppose, or herb. Which would then turn into one of those. We don't have herb, right? Yeah, okay. We still need quite a few items for progression. For progression, though. But we also haven't found a lot of the places where those could be. Which makes sense since we still have... Stop that. With only two of us, we should be throwing out spells there instead of double running. We have a pretty decent selection of spells as well. Still no warp or exit, but... Alright, Sarah, what you got for us? Okay, that sucks. I don't remember if they had houses here, but if they do, we'll buy 10 of them. They did not. Alright, let's make sure we're not missing something. We can't turn that in, we can't turn that in. We don't know where those are. We can't use that, we can't use that. Adamant. Adamant means dwarves. We don't know where dwarves are. Have we checked everywhere? We have checked everywhere. Alright, so back to Volcano it is. I suppose TFC North is an option. Other than that, I think that we have opened every chest available to us up until this point. Nope. Sure. Eventually, that Fate staff will probably find a home on Red, just to conserve Red's life charges. But for now, particularly with where we are, having 3 AoE casters is just too darn important. The turn order was a little unfortunate, but luckily they only had attacks and not time-consuming skills. Either everything rolled pretty decent ambush chances, and so the back half of the game is going to have no ambush chances, or Tap rolled really low luckless agility. Because it seems like we're getting ambushed a whole lot for a level almost 20 party. That might have been too conservative of a line. Yeah, it was. We should have used spell charges there. I suppose it should be noted that we don't know where Bahamut is going to be, so it's possible that even with the tail, class change isn't going to be a thing that happens. But our party is relatively class change proof, especially since we already have those golden pro rings on everyone. So worst comes to worst, we find tap some steel armor somewhere and go to town. But hopefully we'll find, you know, at least flame or ice somewhere. We're using fades because they're the thing in the level 2 slot, so it's quicker to menu to them. Arguably nukes here would have been appropriate since we wanted to be able to one-shot the Wizsei Hags if the red mage went off first, but the time saved on that versus the time spent menuing seems to not be worth it to me. But a different player may judge that differently. One level from BB getting, you know, up into actually pretty decent range. Opal Shield is the first argument for class change other than the Defense Sword, but it's not that much better. I forget which of these trap tiles is which. Yeah. Oh wow, they rolled high hit points. Waters are just very good XP. Second ice sword. On red, because red is the one who wants to conserve spell charges more because of life. Oh my. Oh well, my. Lit 2 lobsters. That was a lucky turn order for us. Knowing that there are lit 2 lobsters, I care more about keeping closer to max health. Because a bad turn order round against 7 lobsters could really just wipe us out. There it is. So there's 2 of our 3 loose as well. Probably should use the Fate Stick, actually. It might have turned this into a 1-round fight. And there's 21 for our BB, which is just in time for Kraken, which is actually pretty nice. We have to ask the question, do we want to nuke our way through Kraken 1, or do we want to fade? Or do we want to... You guys have nasty spells. Do we want to nuke our way, or do we want to fast temper our way through Kraken 1? And I'm not sure yet. Level 21 BB is nice, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, 200% bosses, so Kraken can't have more than, like, what, 1,600 hit points? Yeah, I think we're going to nuke our way through Kraken. Because that should be a 2-round fight, and counting on fast temper is almost guaranteeing that it's a 2-round fight, so I think it's better to take that wager to play it straight. Healing up just because Kraken can always be nasty. Oh wow, some absorb there. Oh, and she rolled the hit points, so we definitely made the right choice. So now it's turn in floater and then start exploring. And mark volcano as clear. I want to stay at an inn, so we're going to stop at Crescent. I don't think we have bottle yet, so we don't need to go immediately to Gaia. We do have Oxyale, so that's kind of incentivized to check out that continent. We want to find Sardo when we can, but we don't really know where he is. Almost just pounded reset, but we want to buy 10 houses while we're here. There we go. Nope. Once we class change, we do want to pick up Life and Cure 4 for tap. And I think that Heal 3 at level 1 was also post-class change learnable. Okay. So that's kind of worthless. Well, we need to do that, so let's go ahead and do it. We're 21, so we really could stop taking fights now, but like really easy one-round fights that give decent XP, I tend to want to take because I'm greedy. No, that was a misclick. Yep. Should have stopped at Melman before diving here to see if they had warp or exit, but we're also not class changed, so the odds of being able to learn it are lower even if it is there. But since we know we need to stop at Melman for slab translation, it might have been worth it to have the potential to save the time. Oh my. That's surprising that they hit that hard. Again, we're in our low 20s, so taking Paralytic's fights is probably just too greedy to actually take, but, you know. And if it had been a single nightmare, I would have run away, but with two of them... yeah. This is a tile that I would often grind, particularly on XP flags like this. But we don't need to grind anything really. Iron armor. We're fine. There's Rod, so we can go kill Lich now. So that's another, you know, check mark that we can apply. Where are we? We're at Titan West. Cleared. Sardis Cave was basically cleared. We got first strike. We'll take it. Again, that's greedy. We shouldn't. It's not worth the 600 XP. Kinda happy that the fade stick went off. Yeah, we're getting enough levels here that class changing might just not even be worth it. I mean, if we find Bahamut, don't get me wrong, we're gonna do it, but it's no longer a priority. Alright, so we're 25. We're in the air. We have canoe. So now it's just really just a matter of finding everything. Well, we have to go do that next. Gonna stop by here just for data, and then we're gonna go. Cool. Alright, well. We found the part of the world that we're going to live in for the next couple minutes. Good. That is very good news. And there's our steel armor. Part of me wants to just stop opening chests entirely at this point, because we have 2 of the 3 loose items. Volcano first or ordeals first? We're going to do ordeals first. It's important to save us out of ordeals, since pounding reset in ordeals is a thing that you do more often than any other dungeon. No decisions yet. That's unfortunate. Up close. Okay. Up close 1. Up close 3. Up close 3 down. Okay, I got really lucky. Up close, 3 down it is. I always like taking sorcerer fights. They're good XP and low hit points, especially when... less so when they have stone touch. But we're still going to take it. Okay, we might not be taking the ones after this. We might be on run, nuke, nuke, run. Gargoyles are another one of those monsters that can be terrifying if they roll anything. Someone, I think it's Volcanic, has a phobia of gargoyles. Ice armor, there we go. Steel armor served us well. Well, that was a waste of time. Wish we get a zombie D out of it. Alright, let's go kill Carrie. So really now it's just on... Do we have loot? It's find loot, kill Tiamat? Find loot, find Tiamat. Are really our remaining squad goals. Nope. Nope. Do we want to clear any of this? Not really. We know where this is. If there's a loose item, armory is going to be the first place that we come back to check. Don't think we have heal 3 or heal 2, so we're going to have to either be low hit points or use our cure 4s. But given that we're pretty safe, I'm not really worried about using our cure 4s. We're just going to bop down here, kill Carrie, kill Red D real quick. I mean, we should trade our... Opal for Aegis, because if we do class change... We're going to take the Agama and the Red D, just because they're really good XP and we should be able to one-shot them. If we wanted to do a grind, we obviously would have done it right there, but we're going to hit 32 by the time that we fight Chaos anyway, and that's really all we needed. There's an argument for doing a grind here for a second and then running for even more aggressively. That might be faster. It's just not really the way that I tend to play. I tend to like taking the good XP fights as they come and grinding only when necessary. Carrie might live through a round. Good for her. I think we want to go explore, looking for that Tia instead of just going and killing Lich right now. Because we know where the Lich kill is. I just flew to Dwarf and then straight north because I know that that gets you to Cardia. Just kind of a mental shortcut there. Okay, and we found Tia. And we have Cube, so we actually can win the game as soon as we find loot. It was Ice Cave incentive. It was. And we have warp now. Awesome. Let's see if they have loot. Nope. Let's see if loot is here. Just still no. Because if loot's here, we're just in go mode. Wow. Unrunnable dungeon. Good thing we have warp. They're undead, so fireworks is going to work just as well to one-shot them as anything else would be. So you can again save clicking time by just doing the thing in that first slot instead of menuing to say fade. Aw, tap didn't kill it. That's sad. He's got an ice sword too. Mages are really good XP, but again, at this point in the game, taking XP fights is kind of pointless. Because we're going to hit 32 whether we like it or not. And by chaos. And even if we were at, 30 or 31, we could take a couple of Ghastly fights or Worm fights on our way in. Oh, Fate Stick didn't kill one of them. That sucks. Crown. We haven't found Astos yet, but I mean, we'll do it. There is not much of a reason not to. A couple of MDef on our BB and the 20-30 seconds to walk down here and warp back out. And it lets us equip that Aegis and that defense sword. That was not the correct sword. Well, that was lucky ordering on our part. Oh, I guess we don't have key yet, do we? So we need key and loot. Okay, so we've got more left than I thought we did. We do need to save that one. Cardia double top is Marsh. Double bottom is Astos. While we're taking notes, it was Forest that was Tia. I forget what Swamp was. Oh, Swamp was, we just cleared it anyway. Okay. Show me key so I can then go and dive marsh. Okay, not what I was looking for. want to check on-rack dungeon, because we have Oxio. And we're right here. Then we're going to check Marsh as well. Okay, dwarves. Dwarves is good. I think it's adamant that we have, not TNT. We need to remember that for if we need to end up turning in TNT. So it's getting put in the notes. So I'm not crazy, right? We don't... Yeah, okay. That's a lot of XP there, but I'm just kind of wanting to scout this out and move on. Okay, it's a trash dragon. The Lupanese might have something for us. We already got translated. We also need to talk to the elf, and the elf is in Dwarf Cave. Alright, we can turn that in right here, since we are right here. We're going to take a Tyro, because they're good XP and usually go down pretty easily. So turn in bottle, go to dwarves, maybe do a quick check of sky here on the way, see what it is. Then again, maybe not, because we don't really need to. We know where everything is. Where basically everything is. All right, we're getting tired of the song and dance. Might restock on heal potions while we're here. Oh, we were already full. Alright, there's loot. So we just need key still, and then we're good to go. Hi, Mr. Elf King. Please have a key for me. Alright, there we go. We have cube, we have rod, we have the other 2 orbs. I'm gonna check this armory here just on the off chance that there's, you know, a ribbon or opal armor or something. But other than that, we're pretty much good. Would have been nice if we had found ribbon, mezza, that kind of thing. That's not where I meant to go. But we're not suffering without them. And picking up ruse there is a kind of added benefit just in case things go bad and we need to do a second dive where we need to ruse up for one of the end bosses. Also, with only swinging Ice Sword, we might just be rusing up on the end bosses in general, just to try to buy a little time, because Black Belt is going to be our plan on how to kill them anyway. And where was Earth Cave? Earth Cave was Matoya's. We are here, so we might as well just go ahead and go kill Lich. As always, if you have any questions or whatever, hit me up. The last couple of weeks I haven't been terribly present on Discord just because it's been a busy couple of weeks, as I alluded to at the beginning, but I always respond to PMs or whatever. And genuinely, if you watched this far, let me know so that I know that people are interested in watching these when I'm able to make them. From here on out, our plan is pretty straightforward. Go kill the 2 fiends. Try to get 30, or make sure that we get 32 along the way. But again, that shouldn't be an issue. That should just kind of happen freely, and then go in the game. Topher is at Ice Cave, and Tia was at Cardia Forest, I want to say. And we're sufficiently okay on gear that it doesn't really matter if we open another single chest. If we were walking by an incentive chest, we would open it just on the hope that it's ribbon or Mazza, but we don't mind that they aren't, because a 32 fasted BB is going to get us through Topher just fine, along with all of our new Confade charges. Poison. That's aggravating, because it means that we have to take longer to kill this. We threw out the Fade just to make sure that it wasn't a 2-round fight. Should have gone the middle path, not this northern path, because it's longer. But I seem to always get corralled by the bats into accidentally going the northern path. And so it has ended up being my default path, even though it's wrong. So that's the thing that I know that I need to fix personally. And And there goes Lich. Oh wow, that was even impressively low hit points for Lich. That might have been a literal minimum roll. Since we didn't even do 200 hit points. That or I saw it wrong, one or the other. Alright. Cardia Forest, and then Ice Cave. We're still going to take that fight. Yeah. They hit relatively hard, but they're just so weak and so much XP. Those guards can be decent XP if you can kill them pretty easily, but they often are somewhat difficult to kill. And Ice Cave or Sky Cave in general just has so much good XP that they just aren't worth using charges on, comparatively speaking. Now, if you run into them in a floor shuffle, they can be. But like everything from here up is better experience than them, and often easier to kill as well. We're gonna pick up these 4. Just because they're not very far out of the way, and it's 4 last minute chests. The problem is, we know that one of the ribbons... oh, Mazza was loose. Huh. I guess I've been slightly mistaken this whole time, but we know that one of the ribbons is... Oh, Excal. Great. Perfect. It's basically exactly what we were looking for, so awesome. That's going to help our knight out a whole heck of a lot with everything pre-chaos. It won't help against chaos because chaos has no types. So you don't get the bonus damage, and so it becomes a much weaker weapon. But against everything pre-chaos, it's second best to Mazza. Vorpal math notwithstanding. We're going to take this. It's a lot of XP that should die to a single fade. Yep, 4K. Got us to level 30. Don't like being ambushed by it. It's a little unlucky, but the turn order's been a little unlucky too. Wow, actually a lot of bit unlucky for 2 fights in a row going that late in turn order. Those Stone Touch aren't pleasant, but the rest of it's good XP. Hopefully our MDef's high enough that the Stone Touch doesn't land. Kinda need to heal Rojo, but I think we're gonna use a spell just to save time. Okay. Apparently we have to fight them anyway. And they have Thunder. That's not good. We're going to use some of Tap's heal 3 charges to get us back up. Oh, he might not have charges yet. Okay. So we'll use... back in Ambush City. Where the grass is green and the sorcerers are pretty. There's our 32. Not quite our 32 on black belt though. There it is. Awesome. We'll drop a couple heal 3s before Tia. Just to top off. And then fight, nuke. Where's fast? You had fast. I had to rearrange them. Yeah. It's a fair couple of hit points on that Tia. There she is. Alright, and then off to Ice Cave we go. Why did I take that fight instead of running? Mostly out of anger. How dare you attack me just before getting on my airship? I will kill you. I.e., it was a misplay. Heals are where we want them. Awesome, let's go. It would help if I walked the correct direction. We don't need to take any fights. If we hit like a single worm, we might fight it just to get through it quicker. But we've got all the levels we need, and now it's just kind of elementary. And we even have X-Cal and 32 BB, so the first 2 fights we can probably just hold A through. Got a decent set of runs there. It's nice that we entered at the right part of the encounter table. Probably not going to be nice on seafloor, but I don't remember if any of those are going to be unrunnable packs, or if any of Earth Floor is going to be unrunnable packs either. We're going to take this one. We shouldn't. We have all the levels we need. An additional level isn't going to help us significantly. But like, first strike on 7 Medusas, that's 6,000 free XP right there. And even without the first strike. And this is why I don't win races. It's just 2 free levels on this floor. Or more. And those levels on that BB do meaningfully translate into additional damage, even when it isn't at the breakpoints. because the levels make each punch hit 4 more and also provide strength. And do the same on the fighter, even though, again, it's not hitting breakpoints. Although if we had Mazza, we're close to a breakpoint. And expending these heal 3 charges is probably not smart, but at the same time we likely won't need that many heal 3 charges to get through these dungeons. Or this dungeon. I guess there's only the one. Damage, poison! Oh no! Whatever will I do? Hi, first strike against Agamas. We drop the fades just to guarantee that it's a 1 round, but it should be 1 round either way. Yeah. It helps if you enter the door before walking. Ooh, first strike on those waters. If I was lower level, I would have taken that chance to get a crap ton of free XP. Oh, the fast one off before the punch. Oh, some absorb on that Kraken. Oh, that's a lot of hit points on that Kraken too. Wow. Gonna want to heal up before Tia. Because we haven't seen Nuke or Nuclear yet. We saw damage poison, but shrug. Wasn't good. So we'll probably want to spend another 2 tempers on that black belt since this is probably a 3 or 4 round fight. Yeah, this fight's going to take a minute, especially if she has Cure 4. Never mind. I forget just how good black belts are. What we just did for Tia is basically our plan for Chaos. Nope, we're gonna have you ruse. And the point of rusing tap there is just so that, you know, half of the incoming attacks do less damage. We don't know if it's a skill-happy Chaos or not, but, you know, having, if he attacks half of the time, it does much less damage, just gives your party overall, probabilistically, a longer survival time. Yeah. We want to throw out a heal 3, but we probably could have waited till next turn to do it. So that was fun. That's an introduction to floor shuffle, or to entrance shuffle. Entrance shuffle usually has floor shuffle and or town shuffle mixed in with it, but it's a fun way to play even with just the one setting. It's a part of what makes this randomizer so great is that there's just a million different ways to play with how you mix settings with each other that make for really unique, meaningful combinations. Mo built this flag set, and quite frankly, it was just really, really well built. It was a really, really interesting flag set, the way that she had a lot of different both go hit the incentives and also some of them are garbage and also go find some loose items. And she had it built really intelligently so that there wasn't a chance for us to get, locked with an early sea or sky. I mean, there was a chance, but it was much less likely that we were locked with an early sea or sky for progression. I mean, we did need the sea for progression, but it wasn't super early. It was when we had an opportunity to be in our teens by then. So, I don't know if anyone's still watching this, but if so, tell Mo just how great of a job she does on this stuff. Other than that, pretty straightforward. I have joked before that on essentially any flag set I will finish it in an hour 40, whether it's a jet seed or it's a garbage fire, and I look at my 141 there and giggle. Yeah, not a whole ton of interesting there that I can think of to post-mortem on. It was very go to the locations, explore the world, find where you are, pay attention to, is this an incentive location? Feel out when it is right to stop opening chests, which with this, we had to full clear up until that floater, and then there was only one loose item left. I still need to get around to making all those videos that I keep saying that I intend to make. Life just has a way of being quite busy, so I'm sorry for everyone who's waiting for those, that they don't yet exist. But counting how many objectives is just such an important skill. How many things are loose, and it would have changed my whole way of approaching this had I counted, incorrectly. Which, heck, maybe I did count incorrectly. Maybe there was only 2, or maybe there was 4. But yeah, so make sure you go over your flags before you start things, and make sure when it's something that you aren't used to that you have like what locations you're looking for pulled up so you can look over and glance at it. I glanced at it multiple times during the course of this run. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Come say hi on Discord. Either of them, but the newer one I'm far more active on. So yeah, thanks everybody. Have a good night.